I wish I could say with a straight face at the moment, but I have been sleeping so much this Christmas. Oh my god. I feel like I have been thoroughly cosplaying what it'd be like to be dead. There have been days where I have slept like 8 or 9 hours at a time. It is shocking. Shocking. I put it down to feeling a little bit under the weather. A hibernating Aavak, but I don't want to hibernate through winter. I want to hibernate through summer when the sun is out and is trying to kill me with its deadly laser. I like the winter. Anyway, so solid, back to actually discussing this. Right now, Moken is tired, but Moken slept relatively recently, like within the last, I would say 16 hours. But the first, 2 days, I think it was, maybe even 2 days and a half, I just had Moken working flat out. So Moken built up, well, actually, no. It was probably the first, 25, 26 hours I had them up. Maybe 27 or 28. But the first sleep did not fully remove this. I kept pushing them. Now, you can do things like drink coffee and all sorts of things to give you a bit more pep in your step, but much like real life, that's not going to fix you being tired. You are eventually going to have to pay back that sleep debt. It'll just postpone when you need to make the payment. But the payment is still accruing in the background. Good morning, Raid. Happy New Year to you. We're not quite there over on our in our side of the pond, but Happy New Year, Merry New Year, Happy Christmas. I have to go to bed. No worries, mate. You have a good sleep. I am really hoping to get a new crew member relatively soon, and it's one of the things I would like to build up money towards before we start flipping ships, because I feel like having an extra set of hands to do the work will greatly improve our situation. So, quick recap. We've got our bridge over here. We've got our, kind of storage room here. We've got our honestly, it's a bit of engineering recharge bays for our batteries, that sort of thing. Down here, we have our engineering section, but there's a lot of work I want to do. Strictly speaking, what I would like is to have it so this whole section is isolated. You come through this airlock, and then this is the cargo area. The bed would be moved. The idea being that if I want, I could allow this whole area to depressurize. And that way I could just walk things back and forth. I could leave all the doors open and I could quickly move things into the hold. And then when I'm done with that, I close the doors and I let this repressurize. I've currently got an actually working airlock, and in that this here, it allows me to pump the gases out of this little compartment. So before I go through the airlock doors, I walk in here through this door, and then I'll spend about 5 minutes letting a turbo pump empty the atmosphere out of here back into the rest of the ship. And I don't wait for it to completely dry, because it'll take 5 minutes to get to under 1 kPa, but it'll probably take 10 minutes to get to 0 kPa. So, I don't waste that time. But my goal with the ship is to have this whole area be able to depressurize. Over here have living quarters, so bed, toilet, sink, that sort of thing. Over here be cockpit. Down here then be the engineering, and have these all as distinct areas. Hello, just saw the notification. Did I miss anything? No, not really, Gideon. Not really. We've just started properly. Are we getting an employee or a prisoner? An employee. How much does it cost to refill your gas at the station? Or loot from derelicts? Honestly, it costs so little that I don't bother worrying about it. I've actually got spare gas down here if I need it. Mostly for use on my, my RCS, really, and a bit of O2 spares as well. We do have some spare breathing atmosphere and such, but we're not really worrying too much about it. How is this canister? Oh, gas pressure is only 0.1%. Yeah, we're fine. We're absolutely fine. That can hold a lot more. We do have a CO2 scrubber now, though. So our air is getting better. I would like to find a nitrogen alarm so I could hook up a pump to pressurize the atmosphere with nitrogen as well. So we would have an air analog atmosphere. Maneuverability is definitely something that I need. Yeah, we are on the... We're not doing well for maneuverability, sadly. We could definitely do better than what we've got right now. Definitely could do better. But that is something for us to care about moving forward. One of the big things we need is the intakes. Because currently we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 thrusters, but only 1, 2, 3 intakes. I think having more intakes would allow my thrusters to work better. Someone was saying you need 1 intake per thruster. I'm not sure if that's true, but it could easily be the case. I would love it if I could find a manual in-game about setting up proper RCS thrusters, because there's a lot of stuff like learning how to set up a proper atmosphere. Like, you can find manuals in-game that'll talk you through, or rather, walk you through, rather, not talk, the steps to make a proper atmosphere. And I love that these are actual things you find in the game. It's so cool. How's the investigation of the space meat going? Well, we've been doing a lot of investigating, but we haven't seen any more space meat. That'll probably change as we jump to more wrecks, though. Yeah, the idea of the doors is these are going to be walls. There'll be one door leading into the main part of the ship, one door there, one door there. This way, the depressurizing part will have... and I would like to move my battery chargers into this cavity so that I can pretty much do everything I need in here. If I need to take care of my character's life support needs, go to the toilet, eat a meal, groom, have a sleep, then I repressurize this part of the ship, go in here, do what I need. But the idea would be that this whole area is effectively one large airlock, and that all of these are reached through each other. I would like vents for that, though, as well, so that they can properly vent. The scrubber seems to need some maintenance. No, the scrubber's good. This green bar, this depletes as it wears down. There'll be like a light grey behind it. And then this is where... So right now it's 100% maintained. As it decreases in maintenance, as long as it's still within this green section, it'll work. It'll just work less well. But the second it depletes below the red section, it's now damaged in this. And so it doesn't work at all anymore and needs to be repaired. Not simply maintained. Like, right now I could maintain it with just a little bit of power, like to run my tools, like an air compressor, that kind of stuff. I would brush blades on fans, maybe apply new lubricant to bearings, that sort of thing. But stuff that is effectively so menial that it's not considered an item I need to supply. But the second it hits into the red, something is full on broken and needs to be fixed. At that point, I would need scrap metal, mechanical parts, a replacement screen, or maybe a replacement motherboard, that sort of thing. Road Train, why do you have to ask that question, dude? Aavak, speaking of toilets, is our rectum properly evacuated? You, sir, are a part of the problem, not a part of the solution. And yes, we've got a fully evacuated rectum. You weirdo. Also, I need to take my hair out of this towel because it should have dried enough now. And wearing my headset over a towel is hard. Oh, there we go. That feels better. Though now, rather than having my hair, all the weight of my hair precariously balanced on the top of my head, which I was getting used to managing, it is now all pulling my head backwards as it tumbles down the back of my neck and my shoulders. The trials and tribulations of long hair. Oh, there we go. Wait, do your space sims need to poop? Yes. Don't get hair, kids. Fair. Right, okay. We've also got a fridge over here, but I'm not going to install that yet. Now, eventually, I'm going to want to expand this out. By a bit on each side, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Honestly, I'm probably going to want to mirror this on this side. So that wall eventually is going to be out here. This will be a very large internal space then. I can't move the transponder. The transponder lives where it lives now, and that's just the way it's going to be. But eventually I do want to make this symmetric. We'll get to that, though. I played this in alpha. Hello. How is it coming along? Well, I probably wouldn't be the person to answer that, as I played this ages ago as well. And I'm only learning all of the things that have changed since the last time I played. But I'm loving this. I am deeply, deeply enamored. Let's put it that way. Right. Okay. So I do believe that the very last thing we did at the end of the last shift, we bought some street food. I believe I also did I buy the salvage license? Yes, I believe I did. Yeah. So I should have a fresh salvage license with us. Right, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to read that, check that our dates and times. Yeah, we've got it until tomorrow then. Okay. Now, I do need to sleep, so I'm probably going to drift towards our... Well, no, I don't like sleeping on the way to a wreck. I'd prefer to sleep at the wreck, assuming it's not an evil wreck. But this is what I really want to get a second crew member for, is so that we can sleep in shifts. That would dramatically improve the situation for us. Yeah, we have a lot of needs. So, for example, right now, I've brushed my teeth. I'm coughing still. God damn it. Apparently, there's a meaty lump in our throat or something, and that happened after we had a sexy smoke with someone. Now, Demi is very inclined to say that this is because space cancer is no joke, which might be the case. However, I suspect that this happened after we started to get a little bit curious about meat. And so I think that meaty lump is more than a tumor. It's not a tumor. We are apparently celebrated, which is nice. Contact getting by. We're not very altruistic. It's something I want to improve. We miss our family. We are yearning for intimacy. We're dignified, calm, and we are okay with our solitude. Contact neglect. Why have I got 2 of these? Not sure. But as far as our stats go, we're actually coming along. We're 50% now towards electric engineering, which is cool. Did I eat the mystery meat? Look, we were hungry, okay? Lazy Hermit, I read it, dude. You told me that to, you know, potentially not go into it, so I didn't want to throw too much attention, but I did read it, mate. Okay. I think it is now time for us to get underway. So we've already got our license. I think we more or less have everything we need. Let me just double check our underfloor. I swear. We've got some spare tools as well. Actually, the spare tools we could sell because I really just don't need them. And then in here we've got a true set of spare tools. But now we've got ultra tools, so we're probably not going to need those for a while. Got a full charge in this. Yeah, I'm going to go and sell those tools. We don't need them. We'll get a little bit for them. Also, we were way too hot earlier, so I had to drop my duster, but we've got... what's the air like in here? Yeah, we're fine. Alright, let's have a quick trade. Pay you to buy some gubbins. Why has that still got a battery in it? Oh, actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm fine with selling that battery. I've already got a spare. I've actually got quite a few spares. We're flush with batteries, chat. In more ways than one, actually. Right, just want to check again, because the music sounds a little bit loud on this track. Is it too loud for you? Just pause it there for a second. Sounds okay. Music sounds fine here. Okay, that's perfect then. That means I should probably just turn down my speakers, or my headset, rather. Okay. Dr. Fist asks, where can I find a decent overview for this game? I have no idea what I'm looking at. Okay, I'm gonna... Before we get underway, just watching will probably give you a bit of an idea, but I'll just ask you a few questions about games that you're familiar with. Are you familiar with games like Hard Space Shipbreaker? Or Space Station 13? Okay, so this is a top-down, detailed simulation sort of Hard Space Shipbreaker. It's not a game about breaking ships, but that is quite often the first thing you do. Like many good simulation games, the game you're playing at the beginning is not the game you're playing at the end. As you progress, your character's kind of horizons expand. In the beginning, you start as just a spacer, like, you know, this is like Expanse, the simulation RPG. We are a belter operating out of a corp-run space station on Ganymede, and we are just salvaging ships. We've bought our own ship, and we're heavily in mortgage for it, so you know we've borrowed to buy our own ship to try and get out of that rat race, and we're now an independent contractor instead of a day laborer. That's where you start. As you expand out, like our ship is greatly expanded from what it started as. You can sort of see the different floors that I've just scavenged off other ships. Many of the components in here I've scavenged from other places. And we have been gradually improving our situation. It's a very detailed simulation in some aspects. In other aspects, less so. But overall, I would say that this is a high-fidelity simulation game. I love the explanation so far. So you have to do all sorts of things like making, you know, survival. You know, you got to eat, you got to drink, you got to go to the toilet, you got to sleep. But also on the kind of mental side of things, you've got to be social. You've got to... The game tracks things like how respected you feel, whether you feel that you've got enough personal space or too much. Do you feel lonely? Have you had enough spicy encounters? Like one of the recurring themes for our character, because of like the RNG nature of character creation, we have an ex-lover. And we've kind of got this on and off thing with wanting to think about them and go talk to them. And it's like, no, this just causes drama every single time. But nevertheless, that's where our character is at. They're not in the best place, like socially, or in the kind of the life section of their work-life balance. In the work section, they're actually doing quite well. They're quite skilled. They've got a lot of positive traits, but, you know, they've just not being in the best of places, you know, as many belters would perhaps feel. Imagine needing social interaction. Are your hands clean? They should be. Am I well groomed? I am well groomed. So yes, you know, we are making a point of keeping ourselves well maintained. We need to dance more. I mean, we are skilled in dance. I'm not skilled in cooking. We're just not having much opportunity to cook yet. How can you actually get another crew member? You hire them. You find someone who's willing to work for the amount of money that you're willing to pay. Just like in real life. Okay. But yeah, once you've got multiple characters, this becomes much more like sim management rather than everything is about your main player character. How much is the ship worth now? Less than the mortgage. We did a valuation at the end of the last stream, and it is not near what the mortgage is. I think it's like 600,000 and the mortgage is still 800,000. We need to increase it, but honestly, putting 2 doors in would greatly increase the value. Is it Space Kenshi? That is a really good comparison. Yes, I would say that yes, this is Space Kenshi. I would further qualify that by saying that Kenshi is more on a macro scale than this one. The scale of the simulation is smaller here. Even though the world simulation is bigger, I would say your focus is on a smaller group. Like, you're much more zoomed into your characters kind of metaphorically. And in many cases physically. But metaphorically, you're more concerned with the minutiae of their lives rather than Kenshi, where you're more focused on the big picture kind of things going on in their lives. But yeah, I would say that that is a really good comparison, Space Kenshi. Punkle Flufin said, I sold my ship for 2.2 million yesterday and now I'm debt-free. Well done. Space Rimshi. Space Kenworld, yes. Basically. Right, but we need to get out there and actually do some work. Like, right now, we need more money. That's all I want to do, is just get more cash. On that note, how much am I in debt right now? No, not right now. We are technically in net profit this shift. Not too bad. Always nice to see a profit at the end of a shift. Always nice to see a profit at the end of the shift. We spent a lot of money picking up a Weber laser torch and the battery for it and the charging station for it, but we got a ridiculously good deal. We bought it off the black market for 7 grand, when if we bought it new from one of the kiosks, it would have cost us 23. Although that ended up, especially having to buy a battery for it, which would have come as standard with it if we bought it for 23, it still worked out cheaper. Even buying the charging station for it, it still worked out cheaper. That was an amazing deal. Because this one tool has replaced like 3 tools that we had in our backpack. But anyway, let's go ahead. We can undock. We're going to pick a new wreck to go and investigate. Now. Someone is investigating that wreck. More scared of you. That was the big one that we went to. Got wrecks all over the place. I'm going to say from here we can probably get out to... Well, either way, we're likely to clip this if we go straight there. So I'm probably going to have to go around it a little bit. Gothic Soul down there. Tell you what, we'll head for this one, and then we'll adjust midway. Once we've come around here, then I'll adjust up. Well, you know what? No. We will just hope that we can get over here without crashing into Umbra. That would be ideal. Right, the first thing we need to do is we need to undock. So, hail K-Leg, the station, request undocking clearance. Have a safe flight, thank you very much. And we are away. Yep. We're now unclamped. Now, we are moving exceptionally slowly, but we are moving. Now, we want to bring ourselves around to the other direction, so let's just swing ourselves about until we're about bearing 0, facing dead on to our target. And I overcorrected a little bit. Sorry about that. Just try. Getting it as close to 0 as you can is ideal, but you know what? As long as it's within a degree, it's fine. We can make corrections once we get there. And now we're going to accelerate up to about... Let's go for 50 meters a second. There we go. 23 minutes. Now, hopefully, we're not going to intersect with you. There is a chance we'll simply miss you, and that's what I'm aiming for. There's other ships out here doing other things. Some of them will be pirates. None of these ones are space cops. They have a different color. So all of these are potential threats, and they're potential friends as well, but more likely to be potential threats. Hey, Crunkspleen, thank you so much for the 73 months, mate. Welcome back. On a scale of from 0 to Dwarf Fortress, how difficult is this game to get into? Okay, to get into, harder than Dwarf Fortress. To master is way less simulation fidelity than in Dwarf Fortress. So I would say to get into, to actually start playing, probably easier than Dwarf Fortress. Probably harder than Dwarf Fortress, because Dwarf Fortress is relatively easy to get into it, but then to get good at everything that you can do in Dwarf Fortress, that's probably harder than this game, because just the amount of content and different things to get good with is very different. I've never seen Plumber Mac on here, but the name sounds familiar. But I would say that this game holds your hand a lot less than Dwarf Fortress does. A lot less. And so, you know, your mileage may vary, but I would say that this is harder to get into initially than Dwarf Fortress. Right, I don't want you allowed to disembark or open airlocks, because right now we're not in anything remotely safe for going about the place. But now you can just start doing some repairs about the area. We've got a bunch of quests, and I probably should start completing some of them just to get rid of them off my goals. Hey, I have made it. Hold hands less. Translation: allows a moment of inattention to result in your character spacewalking without a helmet. Yeah. But Morgan loves opening airlocks. It's his favorite thing to do. Yes, that's the problem. That's the problem. It does seem to be Morgan's favorite thing in the world to do, is opening airlocks. Oh no, Lazy Herman is talking about electronic paper now as well. It's spreading. But yeah, initially the airlock is literally just a two-door system. There's no actual cycling of the air in the airlock. We've added that ourselves. We've created through a switch and a pump system to do that. And we can make that even better with time. Are you able to wire the airlock so only one door can be opened at a time? Yep. If you want to do that, I think you can. I'm not entirely certain that you'd be able to wire it to the doors in the stricter sense, but I believe you could restrict energy flow into the door. I'd have to have a look into it, though. Oh, actually, you know what? Let me cancel action. Head back over here. I failed to note what the time was. So we got 19 minutes. Let's check back in... Let's check back in 5 and see how we're doing. So at 4:34. No, see? Tried to go out. That bloody Mucken. We're on to you, Mucken. Just letting them get a little bit of maintenance done. Right, let's slow down here. I would like to go back and check what we're looking like on our approach. Okay, I'm more content now that we are simply going to pass by, which is fine. Okay, we've got another 14 minutes, so I'm gonna let since we're not moving too fast as far as things go in here, I'm gonna give it 10 minutes. Yeah, about 10 minutes. We'll come back at 4:44. That was a K-leg spaceship, like a police ship, scanning us there for a moment. Okay. We are moving close to the other ship right now. So let's go and just make sure that we are simply going to pass it. Yeah. It's going to be close, but it is fine. So I'm going to clear that alarm. You don't need to worry about it. So we'll go for another... Yeah, another about 5 minutes. Now, it's important to do maintenance regularly because things are constantly experiencing wear and tear. I like to travel slowly. Yeah, that's right. You just maintain that door. No trying to open it. I like to travel slowly because I get lots of time then to do maintenance while we're between locations. But I could have just sped up and just slowed down a little bit more as we approach. Now, we are drifting relatively far off, so this is a good time for us to make some adjustments. So let's try and bring my heading up. A little bit more. Fortunately, I was all over the place there. Apologize. Need to... Oh, that's why. I was using far more thrust than I usually do for these maneuvers. I like to keep my thrusters on a relatively slight amount to try and make this easier. Down just a little bit more. It's not a perfect system, unfortunately. Just want to feather it. Can I? That's good enough. Right, let's zoom in. We're going to need to adjust the VCRS because currently that's our speed moving laterally across our target. So we want to line that up. And everything else should come into position then for us. There we go. That'll do nicely. Let's try and just bring our bearing across more. I should probably have done that first, honestly, because that makes setting up the bearing so much better. But now, once I'm within 10 kilometers, that's usually when I want to just time accelerate up to the point where we're below 5, because that's when I can dock. So as we're coming in at 8 times speed, I'm going to start slowing down. And there we go. Right, clear the proximity alarm because we actually want to be close. Hail the ship, initiate uncontrolled docking or unguided docking. And now we just guide us in. Now, typically, like initially I was like crawling towards these docking connections, but I've gotten a little bit more confident now about how quickly I can respond and adjust. So I'm a bit less inclined to slow down until I'm much closer. But generally speaking, I still like to dock moving at a sub 10 meters a second if I can. So once we're about there, the second grid position, I start to slow down. Since I can just throttle up in order to slow down a lot more if I want to. Actually, we'll start to slow down around the third one. That should be fine. There we go. Now we're going to start slowing down. You notice how that's affecting our ETA? As long as the ETA is still going down, then we start to slow down at the right time. Because I just want to basically come to a stop more or less as I'm approaching it. Now you've got to line them up though, so it's always worth making sure that that is lined up. There we go. And once we're within 100 meters range, we'll be able to dock. But you could honestly dock moving at 40 meters a second. It wouldn't be an issue. Let's keep slowing down. I'm using a little bit more RCS by doing this. There we go. Because I could dock moving faster, and it probably wouldn't damage my ship too much, because this game isn't super realistic with that. As people have pointed out, it's like, you know, ships docking with the ISS, they're measuring their speed in centimeters per second, not meters per second. We're, relatively speaking, moving fast. Now, let's have a look. How do we even bother to stay? I'm going to pause it there. So this ship is a small ship, first and foremost. I honestly don't even know if there's much going on there. And it's being eaten by space meat. We do not want to linger then in that case. There are some... there's some disagreement in the community, it seems, especially amongst new players regarding meat. Some people just want hard sci-fi, and the meat being much more of a supernatural kind of element isn't welcome for that reason. But this game exists in the same universe as Neo Scavenger. In fact, it's more or less happening at the same time as the stuff in Neo Scavenger, and Neo Scavenger is quite a supernatural game when you get down to it. However, the meat isn't quite acting the way that the devs intended either. It's much more prolific than expected. And so there is going to be some rebalancing to that. Right now, that balance isn't there, because obviously over the holidays, you know, dev cycles and stuff like that, you know, actually getting the patches out only if it's absolutely critical. And this really isn't. However, the meat is a little bit more of an issue than it's meant to be right now. Right, let's head over to this inventory. We need to get changed quickly. Right, open this one up as well. Thank you. I'm going to pop the duster in here. Going to pop the sweatshirt. I'm going to pop my shoes in there as well. And my pants. And in exchange, we're putting on our EVA suit. Backpack goes in here. That's my tools backpack. Popping on the helmet. Oop. How's our oxygen doing? Oxygen is fine. Battery is fine. All right, we're good to go. Now, we're not great in an EVA suit, sadly, but, you know, it is the way it is. Ooh, do I want to wait 5 minutes for the airlock to cycle? We'll watch how aggressive this meat is moving, but I think we might not wait as long as I usually would. Notice the meat is moving around. Now, it was suggested by our pragmatic friend in the Port Authority that we might want to try sampling the succulent flavors of this space meat. It is, after all, a potential infinite food source. However, I feel that's very easy for someone else to say, who isn't the one being told to eat the weird space meat. Can we get through this door? No. I want to scrap it then. Which item are we using for this? Apparently nothing. Okay. Can I open it? No, it's unpowered. Okay, I want to scrap it then. What did I just scrap? Oh, I scrapped a conduit. Dismantle then. That's going to take me less time than trying to uninstall it. That being said, I mean, it is a functional door. Actually, cancel that action. Even if I don't get anything else, getting a door is fine. Have they already fixed the meatpocalypse? I have no idea. Right, what I can see. N2 canisters out there. A crate over there. A pump here. Looks like the meat is on the outside, not the inside. That's great. We do not want the meat to cross this latitudinal line with the airlock, because if it does, it's then technically on our ship. And if it's out over here, that's a big problem, because it will move with us and will eventually fill the entire screen. And it's going to be really hard to deal with at that point, as one might expect. So the moment the meat gets close to the airlock crossover, that's when we're going to get rid of it. That's when we're going to undock and leave. Okay, actually, not too bad in here. What's that? That is a seat, a passenger seat. We've got an EVA battery. Don't mind if I do. Some tech scrap, some conduit stuff. Spare O2 bottles, some more scrap, batteries, cooler. Interestingly, no thrusters. What would be the best stuff to take with? I'm going to go for this wall and install it. I'm going to try and get that crate. Is this game as unforgiving as Neo Scavenger? I would say so. Probably. Have we run into more space meat? You could say that. You could definitely say that. There appears to be space meat just outside. Moken is not going to eat the space meat. I've decided. Not yet, anyway. Moken has got like 3 really nice pieces, space street food that he bought. I didn't spend like 3 grand on that for us to just eat random space meat instead. We will eat the street food. Then maybe... oh, God. Can I pick up and pull this back? Can I get back inside? Yes, I can. Okay. I'm going to say that we are almost ready to leave already. Right. Pick this up. Can I pop this in there? No, but I can pop this there. That's fine. I would like to grab some things if I can, but I'm not against leaving immediately if I can't get it done quickly. We will take the heater because it's relatively undamaged. I'll take the cooler as well as if I can because they're worth a decent amount once fully repaired. Also grab that. But we're not going to take anything else. That meat is already far too developed for me. I'm not going to grab the gas. The gas tanks would be nice, but... and they don't take long to uninstall, but the meat is already so far. I'm sorry, what is this meat? It looks concerning. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at as well. But everyone keeps saying, oh, no, you should absolutely eat the space meat. Stick it in your mouth and suck on it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that's what you say to all the pretty-looking boys. Bunch of animals you are. Yep, that one is in a very good state of repair. Yeah, have a cup of raw milk. What? Chaos Dragon. None of these answers are comforting. Yeah, this welcome to my pain for the last like 3 streams. Demonworks says, I think we should worship it in hopes of being subsumed last. I see. Roken's Basilisk. I get you. Is it Roken's Basilisk? Was it Roken's Basilisk? I think it was. Does anyone in chat know what I'm talking about? Roko's Basilisk. There, yeah. Moken's Basilisk. By telling people about it, you're dooming them, if I recall correctly. I'm fine. I've been working to the rise of our eventual AI divine overlords ever since I got into studying AI. I'm definitely on the winning side of history. The more people, in fact, by not getting more people roped into the basilisk stare, I'm in danger. I got to do my part. Hey, Legend Shift. How's it going, mate? Got a little bit more room. I could grab a pump or 2. Yeah, let's do it. I think we need a flamethrower. That's actually on the list of things to be added soon, actually. No, don't tell them about the basilisk. Too late. I've done it. And now by reacting, by telling me not to tell them about the basilisk, you're firmly in the basilisk's sights right now, Bentham. Basilisk's watching you. Walking on thin ice. Lights are always handy. Good call. Any internal lights that I can see easily? No. Ah, my brains. Ow. Any one of the people here could become the creator of the basilisk. Did Bentham just break the first rule of the Basilisks Club? He did, lady. See? Even Lady Sheila knows the rules better than Bentham. For shame. For shame. Lady Sheila hasn't even studied the Basilisk. He's only become tangentially aware of the Basilisk and is loved by the Basilisk more than you right now, Bentham. Right, let's get this inside. Right, I'm just gonna pop this here. Okay, I guess I'm not. Is there a spot that I could easily put this? Can I have this here? There, that'll do. Right. With that, I'm going to simply undock because I don't want to deal with any meat getting onto the ship. That being said, I could go over there, maybe fight. No. We shouldn't fight the meat. We don't want to beat the meat unless we absolutely have to, chat. We're not desperate enough to beat the meat yet. Oh, door. Good call, chat. Well done. I'll waste a little bit of atmosphere here. That's okay. The meat is too dangerous for me to wait long. It might already be getting to the point where it's going to be an issue. Like, legitimately. Oh, my lord, really. Right. Fine. I'll walk down there. It's okay. Right. Helmet off. We are undocking. Hopefully there will not be any meat attached to the outside of my ship when I do. Hail ship. Undock. Disengage clamps. Ooh, what did I just get? Share another story. We can share a story about space meat, chat. Aren't we lucky? I don't want to exist in eternal undying torment. The undying torment will continue until morale improves, Bentham. Okay. I think we got out of that relatively safely. Let me drop some things off first. Okay. There you go. Sometimes doesn't like me adding things into it just by dropping them on the tile, which is a bit annoying, but oh well. That spare EVA battery, though, quite a nice find. Quite a nice find. Spare oxygen bottle as well, and some spare gubbins there. Some spare actually, I'll pop those. I'll leave them in here for now. That's fine. Actually, no, I'll pop them in with the EVA bag. But that was a relatively good collection there. There we go. Nice. Right. What is this song? Oh, no, that is from Kingdom's End. All right, I want to pick this up. We're going to drag it in. Pop it right about there. Then we are going to access the lock. In before, it's full of mystery meat. I should totally have checked that before I brought it on board. Why did I not think of doing that? Am I about to find out that we've doomed ourselves? No, we have not doomed ourselves. Hooray! Huh. Maybe a little bit of doom? Maybe a tiny bit of doom. Poster, Lucky says, yield. An Ayotamiwa PSA poster featuring everybody's favorite Lucky, the Lusker. This one is an acronym for tips of tips on for piloting within K-leg airspace. Okay, I will definitely use that. We've got some trash as well. Well, I'm going to sell this crate regardless, so actually, I may as well leave the trash there. What have we got in you? Nothing. So just a spare backpack. Nice find. Extremely nice find. This backpack can... this backpack can go in here. I'm going to transfer all of these gubbins into it, because it's much bigger. And this one can be for things like the various conduits and the likes. That keeps my storage nice and big. Which one is my backpack for components? This one. Let's pop these in there then. They take up quite a lot of room. There's not much I can do about that. But we have got an extra heatsink now, which is nice. The mystery meat surprise. Hello, Aavak and Dabblings. I'm looking at my builds in Terraria, said Renosian. I just built a Japanese-style castle for my armor. It's my birthday on Friday. I'm at the age I need to choose a midlife crisis. And it's just... I'm at the age I need to choose a midlife crisis. Is that how it works? You get to a certain age and you're like, right, I've got a multiple choice adventure time. I can have suddenly want to be in a motorbike club. I can have dating someone far too young for me. I can just the list goes on and on. It's like, okay, fair enough. Could suddenly take up fishing, turn that into your personality. Yeah. Same with hiking. That's another one. Cycling too. Cycling can be your that can subsume your original personality. Yep. I would like to install this poster, and I'm going to install it just above. Yeah, I'm going to put it right next to my my pallet seat. Expensive cars. Yep, that's another one. Drugs. Independent salvager. Give way, Lucky says. Yield. You need to give way to all Iowa to Tamiwa shipbreaking company vessels. Well, sorry, why? I. Irresponsible piloting will not be tolerated. E. Enforcement procedures will result of breaching Ayatamiwa traffic rules. L. License of independent salvagers can be revoked on non-compliance. D. Dangerous piloting can lead to injury and death. There we go. Lucky says yield. Now we know. Don't make Lucky sad, Chad. Actually... So that's going to be a problem for me. I would like to pop this down here. I'm just going to have to move this door up here and then pop the dolly back out here, I think. Now, one of the things that I'm aware of, and one of the things that I think has been vexing people the most with regards to the meat stuff, is that it is far more common than it's meant to be. And part of that is from a bug in the algorithm which decides how common meat is meant to show up. It's basically working in reverse. So if you take too long, like if there's a long period of time between visiting a wreck with meat and visiting another wreck, it'll almost guarantee that there's going to be meat there. Because the way the algorithm is meant to work is there's meant to be a long time between meat wrecks showing up. But that's reversed right now. So if you visit another wreck quickly enough, then then there's a good chance that there won't be meat there. But if you take a long time, then there's a very good chance there will be meat there. So it's kind of going to be constant meat wrecks. Yeah. Let me just check. Oh, that's my tools. Pop that in there for now. I am thirsty, so let's have a quick drink. There we go. All right. Let's go ahead and use this. And we're going to select a new wreck. I could go up there and then around. I'm going to set that one as my destination briefly. But we're not actually going there. I'm just going to go... Well, actually... I suppose I could just go around it right now, honestly. As long as I set my bearing correctly. I'm just going to let time do this so it's nice and easy to control. And about there. Perfect. All right, let's start accelerating. Let's take us up to about 1 hour to get there. So we're going to move forward to 12 meters per second, but I want to have plenty of time. We are not going to miss you. So let's scooch to the side instead. That should take us well outside your radius. And for the next few minutes, I'm just going to, like the next 2 minutes, let's just get some auto tasks done. We'll just repair everything. Let's just make sure that I'm not allowed back out. No. Okay, good. Good enough. Let's go back. But happy birthday in advance, Renosian. Pen-blwydd hapus I chi, mate. I hope you have a fantastic birthday celebration. Right, let's line ourselves back up again. We're going to need to adjust my bearing a little bit more now. And about there. Perfect. All right, let's accelerate. Let's bring it down to about 40 minutes. Yeah, that'll do. So we're moving at 17 meters a second. This gives me a solid 40 minutes. So let's spend 30 of those minutes. Let's move time up to 49. And get some stuff fixed around the ship. Now we're going to be a little bit slower because we're wearing my EVA suit, but that's okay. Should the algorithm be based on the percentage chance using number of derricks visited since last meet? I'm not sure what the algorithm should be. I actually made a suggestion because some people, the issue is not how frequently they encounter meat in the wrecks, but the fact that the meat can just be, actually I'll slow it down just to showcase. Like if they're visiting a massive wreck like this, if the meat crosses the line of the airlock, then it's technically on your ship's grid, not the wreck's grid. Used to be that the meat could be in there, and it could be invading your ship through the airlock, but as long as you undocked, the meat was gone. It was stuck on that ship, yoinked out through the airlock. But that was then changed so that the meat could cross grids. But now it considers this line, the same way as stations, as part of this grid. So the problem with that is if this place is massive and the meat is just expanding out through space and it crosses this line and you undock, well, that's fine, but the meat is still there, expanding, and you can't get to it easily now. And by the time it's close enough for you to get to it, it's massive. And it's growing exponentially quickly, so you're never going to be able to beat it now. And that's obviously causing quite big problems for people. So I suggested just like a basic cellular automata, like Conway's Game of Life kind of rule set, something like meat can only expand into whatever tick base the meat is moving on, it can only expand into a tile if it's got exactly 2 neighbors, or it can expand as long as it's less than 3 neighbors or something like that. But we need to check that right now before we smack into something horrible. That's coming up on us way too fast. Please be fast enough to deal with this. What the heck are you doing? Are they changing direction? Are they slowing? Harsh critique? I've got harsh words for you right now, buddy. Space hooligans? Haven't you read the Lucky poster? But anyway, so, like I suggested, you could have Conway's Game of Life, and if there is 3 meat neighbors, then the cell dies. Or maybe it'll only die if it's not on a solid ground. So, like, if it's in space and it's got 3 meaty neighbors, that cell decays. That way it would kind of prevent it from getting too far out there, because it wouldn't really be able to build bridges as effectively. Or other ones, because some people say, oh, well, it would be much nicer if the meat was kind of following walls and invading airlocks and stuff. In which case, you could make another rule, like the cell will die if there isn't at least 1 meaty neighbor cell that is adjacent to a wall, or anything like that, because that would force it to obey certain expansion rules. Yeah, basic Game of Life rules, yeah. Thanks, Aavak, I will try. My rainbow friend is taking me to a burlesque show. Pray for me. I need to figure out what the dance of the bearded 7 veils is. Okay. I won't pray for you. I will roll a dice in your honor. I don't know what the dice is going to mean. It's going to be carved in goat bone, though. Meaty goat bone, fresh meaty goat bone from the goat without end, from space meat. It will have your name on it and various sigils. I'm not sure what the sigils mean. They will come to me in a dream where I am being stared down by the one great goat eye. I'm sure this is going to be a very, very good portent for you. Not at all ominous. If viable within what the game tracks, they could also enforce the law-provided logic. Meat needs air to expand, going dormant. In fact, no, that would be amazing, Danjal. That would be super good. And so, for example, if in a completely vacated airlock, wreck or something, but you open the airlock and you vent some of your atmosphere in there, even a small amount suddenly brings it out of dormancy and it expands for a little while. But if not provided with sufficient additional oxygen, it goes dormant again. Yeah, that would be really cool. Because that would really, really reward players who actually build proper cycling airlocks where they're not venting their own atmosphere out. That would be super cool. I would like that. Obviously, because, I've gone to the effort of building it, and this would validate my effort. Maybe it grows for a certain amount of time and then needs more. Basically consumes, well, effectively, it consumes the atmosphere like fuel. It burns it like fuel, like pretty much what it's doing. And so, if only a little bit gets in there, then there might be a little bit of growth. But as long as you're very careful from that point on, you don't have to worry too much. Let's go and check on how we're doing. I take the meat is evil and wants to eat me. Is that evil, though? Or is it just doing what you would do? Life finds a way. Even space meat. Especially space meat. Let's reduce my... there we are, that's perfect. Right, we've got 23 minutes, so we'll come back in about 15 minutes, I'm thinking. So at 10 to. Aavak is delicious. He has been steeping himself his entire life. That's true. It's true. I don't want to brag, chat, but I am delicious. It's well known. None of my girlfriends have complained anyway. Make of that what you will. Survival instincts are, by definition, not driven by morality. Indeed, meat just wants to eat. I keep thinking I have FTL on the last starship, but it's actually the long journey home and shortest trip to Earth. That is... that is... that is very interesting. Interesting. Those are very different games. Goats are lovely animals. How dare you? Right, we're going to just spend some time just repairing the ship. Sure. Oh, that's it. Have we repaired everything that we can in here? Wow. Okay. I am all aboard on that. Right, well, in that case, let's just swap out my battery. I think I'll charge up my laser as well. Also, let's keep that on me at all times. Let's pop you in the battery charging station. The ship is ship-shape, yes. Yes, very true. Well observed. And I believe I still have at least one GOT device. Yep, I do. There we go. Right, good as new. How's the charge looking right now? Ooh, charge is low. Only got 5 hours of electricity left. Noted. I may not have fully charged that before I left the station. That's on me. Oh well. We got enough money's worth down here for me to be able to make a little bit. What I would like to do is find some more intake, RCS intakes and thrusters for the ship. Also another door. Once I've got... Well, actually, I could replace one now. But I would need some walls as well for that. All right, well, since we are almost... Like, we've got nothing else to do, we may as well accelerate a little bit. And then we'll have to slow down again at the far side, but that's okay. There we go. 7 minutes until we get there. There we are. Now, hopefully, once we arrive, it won't be full of meat. You never know, though. As long as I'm moving sub 50 meters a second, I don't mind coming into docking range at that speed. No. Why? I swear. Yeah, you better start braking, dude. Handmade God. Are you gonna dock with the... I swear you better not be. You Absolute arse. I think that's exactly what I just did. Yep, that's exactly... You dickhead. Absolute arsehole. Wow. Rude AF. Fine, I'll go elsewhere then. But I suppose that is the advantage to moving fast. The consequence for me not moving fast. I hope that wreck is full of meat. And you jump off there and immediately accosted by girthy tentacles. We're not going to waste any time then, because I've got nothing else to do, so I may as well just get to our next destination in like 5 minutes. He poached my wreck, yes. That's an NPC. There aren't. This is a single player game. There's no other people. That would be amazing, though. It's what I want to say and believe. However, given that this is like a permadeath game, that would not go well. We know what other humans are like. That would not end well for us. I don't believe I would be able to dock because it's currently already docked at. So I'm just going to leave it. Also, what would I do even if I got there? You know, I would probably end up having to fight them for it. And I'm not in the mood for that. Initiate docking. And let's start slowing. Reasonable pace. There we go. And start slowing a little bit. Aavak is an ex-lover, not a fact. God damn it. Rude. Do you have to bring up Moken's ex? He's going to pine for them now. You know this. I'm going to send him to bed and he's just going to spend the whole night crying into his pillow. Wasted moisture. We can't afford this kind of resource expenditure in space. We will be there in just a second. As soon as this is below 100. There we are. And clamps. To be fair, I'm pretty sure it was an amicable brigade. It was. It was. We will always have Paris. Oh god, this is a large ship. Potential for meat is high. Alright. Time to get in there then. As soon as this is below 1 kPa on oxygen. The nitrogen I'm not as worried about, but the oxygen I care about. Okay. Let's pick this up. Come with me, and let's go. Oh. Right, now, to reiterate, we are looking for expensive parts. We want to make money here. I will, of course, grab any spare gubbins. I should probably bring one of the backpacks just for spare loot, thinking about it. That's on me that I didn't do that. This is a busted door, so we're just going to scrap that. What? Why are you going? Wait. No. You are not allowed back through the airlock. What are you doing? Okay, cancel tasks. I wish it would tell me what they're doing. I can see where they're going. Oh, crap. I forgot to take the battery out. Of course, that's on me. That's on me. I just wasted a bunch of time and atmosphere. But that is entirely on me. I popped the battery for the laser into charge. And I forgot to take it out. But since I'm here anyway, which of these would be the best one to take? I'm going to try and consolidate these to a certain degree. Surely denied per roster orders. Oh, crap. It's his time off. Untime. Sorry. Sorry, Moken, but you're going to have to work through untime. But that's okay. I'm not going to fall down any stairs because I am effectively Moken telling Moken that he doesn't get untime off. Which is the most real that you're ever going to get representation of self-employment. I hate to break it to you, chat, but self-employment sucks. All right. Do I want to... Yeah, I'll burn another 5 minutes. It's fine. I'll eventually get multiples here, so this happens nice and fast. What about getting your own generator? I have a... Oh, you mean a reactor? Yeah, you can totally do that. That's a big thing. It's not like a generator in Zomboid. Over here, it's like, aha, in Zomboid, I've learned how to use a generator by reading a magazine. Fantastic. Over here, I've learned how to use a reactor by reading a really sick instruction manual. Haha, fantastic. The next step in Zombie is like, I found a generator in this van. Great, I just need to put it outside my house and boom, I've got electricity. On this one, it's like, I need to build a fusion reactor. Make sure I've got all of the components. Now I need to get the heavy water, the helium-3. I need to make sure that I've got a coolant system, a cryogenic cooling system. Otherwise, bad things are going to happen. I need to make sure that the core has got ablative shielding. Now I can turn it on. This is kind of hard because there's lots of switches and lots of knobs. And if I do them in the wrong order, kaboom! But at the end of it, hooray! I've got infinite power for as long as I've got fissile materials. It's super great. Self-employment just means you get to experience being the boss of a shitty employee and the employee of a shitty boss at the same time. Yeah, exactly. Michael Pork understands. God damn it. That is too real. Right. All right, I'd like to scrap this. Now I've got my super duper laser. Look, even in my EVA, it's now 9.9 instead of 5.5. Can I install cargo compartments in the airlock floor? No, because it needs walls all around it. And the airlock doesn't count as a wall, it counts as an airlock. I tried. I was extremely disappointed. I might be able to get the vertical thing, though. There might be something I can do. I'll have a look at it. Thermostat, not what I'm looking for. Check the bins. ASCII skull. Ooh, that sounds good, actually. 0.38 special, old world ammo. Okay, okay. Maybe I should have brought multiple backpacks with me. A D&D cola. Sounds kind of cool. Work safety. Ugh. Don't want my employees getting any funny ideas. Especially me. I'm the worst employee for getting funny ideas. Scrap cloth. It's dirty scrap cloth, but that'll still be useful for sorting out a weapon. Trashed transponder. Nav station, though. Big yes. Okay. What we got in this crate? Nothing. Okay. I'm going to leave this here for the second. Okay, so there's already some good money here. Let's have a proper look around the rest of this. There's a light there. There's a battery, nice. Okay. Cargo webbing. Oh, now we are talking. We could dramatically increase the cargo storage area on our ship using those. Can I fix a ship? Yeah. Yeah, like if I wanted to, but I'd have to buy this ship, and there is no way I can afford it. I can tell you that right now. A ship this big, my ship, half the size, was an 800,000 mortgage that I'm only just starting to get through. There is no way I would be able to afford this. Tragic, I know. How much of a reactor have we got here? Not enough of one. Let's have a proper workaround. We've got a... oh, this looks like a decent ship to salvage, though. Got a couple of batteries, ship batteries. Nice, nice, nice. Doorways out to the cargo webbing. Crates out here as well. Okay, this is looking like a good one for us. We're going to make some cash here. And I am very tempted to try and set up some cargo webbing for ourselves. What else have we got? We've got bins all over the place. Lots of just gubbins in here. Okay, this is a good ship. This is a good wreck. Let's pry this open with the crowbar. It's in good enough shape for me to be able to use it. Okay. So that's a second door. All right. I want to prioritize getting stuff that's going to make me money, obviously. I can move this door over there. I can have another door across here or something like that. I can move that crate up. But there are things in here that I want in order of their value. The nav station is restorable. We are going to deconstruct this. We're going to store this on our ship. That one's going to be an important one. And before we sell it, we will log into it and try and get any secret files. And the cargo webs do have crates of cargo on them, yeah. I'm not going to worry about taking the sink. I'm going to be honest with you. That is not high on my list of things to do. And right now, we're not even using all of the thrusters that I've currently got. So I'm not too worried about getting thrusters. I want intakes. Now, I didn't properly look for those, but there may be some intakes around here that we can salvage, and that will greatly improve our maneuverability. Yeah, the ships this size might have the really cool RCS intakes. It's definitely got a lot of reactor parts. I think we're going to be coming back to this ship. I think this is going to be a multi-stage salvage. You need to buy derelicts? Well, yeah. I mean, we've bought a salvage license to be able to scavenge part of the derelicts. We don't own them, though. Ioma Tiwa owns them. And if we want to buy them and make them our ship and sign all the paperwork, we have to buy the derelict. We'll get it for a massive discount based on how wrecked it is, but it'll still cost us. Oh yeah, there's alternative views. You can like go grayscale. You can bring this up. In fact, while we're pulling this down, sure. That's one intake right there. Looks like the others are not, unfortunately. Battery. There's a couple of thrusters around the place. Pumps. But sadly, no other intakes, just one. But one is an improvement over what we've got, and I'll take that. But yeah, this place will be a nice place to strip down. You've got a lot of work to do here. So if you scavenge every usability and buy it then, no. That used to be the case, that you could go to a place, strip all of the functional bits out of it, then buy it, then put them all back on. But now the Port Authority, when the wreck was registered, took a valuation of that wreck. So once the wreck was generated, it had its cost fixed at that point. So you can't just game the system by taking all the good stuff off, then buy it, and then put all the good stuff back on it. So now, if you want to buy a wreck, the best wrecks to buy are ones that are truly, genuinely trash. You'll get them for a significant discount. But you're still looking for about 100k at best. Then slap on a couple of thrusters, a cockpit, yeah, that sort of stuff. And you might have something worth flying. Right, I'm going to go and check the bins while I'm out here.